Hi, my name is Brandon Bellows, and today I will be doing a book talk on the story of Woven. Everyone is a thread that is sewn into the great tapestry. Woven follows the life of Nels, a well-liked peasant in the village of Cobblestown. He dreams of becoming the favored knight of Aberon one day. Unfortunately for Nels, that day does not get to come, because one night, right outside of his home, he encounters a mysterious man who murders him. Nels awakens as a ghost and is trying to figure out what has happened to him. As he begins walking around, he discovers that someone is able to see him, Princess Tyra. The two join forces and are sent on a journey by the tailor Bosch to recover an ancient needle called the Needle of Galanor, in hopes of bringing Nels back to life. The journey is hard, and along the way they encounter ghosts, witches, and an enemy that is also after the needle, and he is able to change his appearance as he pleases. Nels and Tyra must hurry, because Nels' soul is becoming unwoven, and if they do not retrieve the needle and return to Bosch soon, Nels' life could be lost forever. I will now read a short selection from the story of Woven that helps to explain more about the great tapestry. The great tapestry is the record of our world, the actions of our reality pressed by the very reeds of time. Bosch paused for a second. Do you know my trade, your highness? She knitted her brow. You make my dresses. Yes, like the one you wear now. But is that all I do? Don't answer me with questions, tailor. Bosch breathed deeply. Making dresses and lining the halls with tapestries is my second trade. My first is a rare form of magic called fabrication. I am a tailor. I maintain the great tapestry. Fabrication is a tenacious art that requires meticulous attention. The man lowered his hands into his inner pockets and removed a tiny spool of thread from one and then a pair of scissors from the other. As I have said, everyone is a thread, invaluable to the great tapestry's design, regardless of how insignificant they may seem. Their choices weave it, and time presses it. Bosch pulled thread from the spool and cut it with his scissors. When a life ends, that individual's thread is severed, and they have left behind a pattern that has been permanently woven into the great tapestry throughout their life. His gray eyes rose, staring at Tyra. Although his thread is unwoven, something keeps Nels bound to us. I believe that Woven is a quality book in many of the regards that we have discussed in class. First off, the story has great character development. For Nels, he starts out as this immature ghost who only takes pleasure in bringing horror and just terror to poor Tyra. But as the story develops and as he encounters other people that are able to see him as ghosts, he begins to soften up towards Tyra and realize that he needs to be treating her as a humble servant. And they begin to form a friendship that forms deep bonds, and they are willing to protect one another, and their friendship is able to grow over time. The story also has great conflict in the battle of man versus self. For Tyra has been struggling with caring for her people, and this becomes very noticeable about halfway through the book when Tyra realizes this sad truth. And she begins to wrestle with it, and she tries to become more selfless and trying to look out for Nels and just doing all that she can to just ensure that he is able to be brought back. And finally, scenery is painted so well throughout this book. Every environment is just filled with vivid thoughts that come to the reader. And one particular scene that I remember very well is when they go to the witch mountain and go to her house. When they enter, the witch is able to turn everything into life and is able to like capture Tyra because of that. And it just reminded me a lot of the movie from Beauty and the Beast. Now, I am a person who really enjoys reading fantasy books, and I've read a lot of fantasy books in my time, and most of them are always the same with in terms of magic and the wands and the good wizard, the bad wizard. But this book is very unique in the way that it presents magic in the form of the fabrication. So it just gives a new spin on magic, and the battle between good versus evil almost feels like a second thing as the story is really focused on trying to bring Nels back to life, and just this battle of good versus evil is just weaved in there so perfectly. So if you enjoy reading fantasy books that are just fresh and unique, I would really recommend